Hello and welcome to Universe Mode. This is NXT. We have Judgment Day just around the corner, but right now it is NXT's time to focus on its own business, and what business it does indeed to have to focus on. Like I said, you know, Judgment Day's tomorrow, that's a big pay-per-view, it's a big show, but NXT has its own big thing happening. A week from now, of course, will be the rematch for the NXT Championship between Coren and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Those two men will meet one-on-one in the ring for the NXT Championship. But tonight, surprise, surprise, for the first time since TakeOver, the NXT Champion himself will be in action. Coren will compete here tonight against Tyler Bate one-on-one as he gears himself up for what could very well be his last title defense as NXT Champion. It's going to be a very interesting night of action here on NXT. We've got a lot of good matches coming your way, but we're going to start things off by hearing from someone. That man is Wwe Jose. And here comes Jose for the first time we've seen him since his victory at NXT TakeOver over Big Cass. It was a big win for Wwe Jose. He went all over the arena in a false count anywhere match between the two. It was very entertaining to witness. But Wwe Jose proved that he is more than just an entrance with that victory. He proved that he is a credible threat on NXT. And that is something that I think a lot of people kind of underestimated about Wwe Jose. And he wants to just look at, he wants to just reflect on it and just say how great it felt to be a TakeOver, how great it felt to be victorious, how great it felt to finally shut Big Cass, shut the door on him and move on to his next part of his career. But Jose, in a little bit of sucking up, I guess, says he couldn't have done it without the fans. And it's the fans who have helped Wwe Jose decide what he is next suited for in his career, what is next for him and what he sees over the horizon. And for Wwe Jose, that is a title shot. He says you don't win a TakeOver, you don't get the recognition that Wwe Jose got on that night and not get something out of it. So Wwe Jose would like to finish off this quick message by letting people know that his next intentions by the next TakeOver are to get a title shot. And don't worry, he's got one particular champion in mind, Pete Dunne. Keep your eyes and your wits about you, because you never know when the conga line might have a new addition to it. Wwe Jose setting his sights, it seems, on TakeOver the night before Money in the Bank, but also on the NXT Global Championship. Well, 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 who would have thought he would have gone after Pete Dunne, but that's interesting. Well, that could certainly be interesting when that comes around, but you bring up Pete Dunne, he is actually here tonight, which is interesting in its own right. We'll see if anything will come of that when when that happens later on tonight, when he's here. Actually, after this opening match, we just saw Wwe Jose. Well, here's his TakeOver opponent, the man who he was, of course, defeated by a TakeOver. Big Cass heads out here knowing that he has to bounce back from that loss at TakeOver. He has to try and show that this is his place, that this is what he wants it to be, and that no one can deny him that opportunity of being the top guy. Big Cass, though, has an interesting opponent ahead of him tonight. We do not know it, but the NXT General Manager and the NXT Sheriff know who is in his position, know who's going to be, who Big Cass is going to be facing here tonight, and what his job will be. We saw some interesting things happen regarding that last week on NXT. We saw Charlotte, we saw Dean Ambrose. Wonder if we'll see anything else along those lines, or if this is just something where they're trying to get Big Cass up on his feet to prepare for a match out of nowhere. Nope, it is going to be akin to those last week. Here comes Cesaro on NXT, the man who seemed almost, for as great as what he was at one point on the main roster, just seemed to lose a spring in his step. Well, now he's here in NXT to get that spring back. Much the same as Dean Ambrose, it is all about reclaiming what once made him great. Well, here comes Cesaro towards the ring. I still think this man's got a lot of talent within him. I still think this man is an incredibly gifted athlete. However, he just needs to show that that is the case. He needs to get more wins under his belt. He needs to be more successful when it comes to victories. He went from being one of the most successful ECW champions we have ever seen, and one of the most successful champions we've ever seen just in general, to joining SmackDown Live and immediately floundering, immediately struggling to make that impact. And now he's got to try and reclaim that here tonight when he starts off his NXT career against Big Cass. Will this go the way that he wants it to? We'll find out. The tag is made and this one has begun between these two men. Big Cass, though, does not look in any mood to try and play nice with Cesaro. As I said, there is an awful lot on the line for Big Cass as well in this one. He needs a win to show what he is worth, to show his stock value can rise, and to show that he has learned after TakeOver. Cesaro, though, is a very tough challenge to overcome. In the turnbuckle there without running up. I gotta look at Cesaro now going to work, using his strength like no one else can. Straight jacket powerbomb there. You always hear this talk about pound for pound, guys, and you know it's almost like a just a constant rhetoric that's spewed out about how certain guys can be pound for pound the toughest, or how they may be pound for pound the toughest. I am hard pressed in many aspects to find a guy who pound for pound isn't tougher than Cesaro, and I mean it when I say that. That's not one of those blank beliefs. That's not something you just say just to fill up time. I genuinely believe Cesaro is pound for pound the toughest guy. Yes, even tougher than Seth Rollins in that regard. I don't see anyone who can do what Cesaro can do so convincingly as well. Like, look at how easily he just held Big Cass up on his shoulders and dumped him right down there into the turnbuckle and then followed it up with a knee. There was a reason why this guy used to go around being so feared. There's a reason why this guy used to be able to go around, or I say used to, he probably still could nowadays. There was a reason why this guy used to go around breaking people's jaws, and people would fear that happening to them. It's because when it comes to Cesaro, you believe it can happen to you. Big Cass, though, just looking to use his strength right now to try and... Oh, look at that by Cass. There's some strength of his own being used. Took a little too long to decide what he was going to do, though. Gave Cesaro that chance to capitalize, and the Swiss Superman was certainly going to take full advantage. Got a little bit too confident for his own boots, though. Cesaro, upon leaving SmackDown Live and heading to NXT, was kind of falling out of favors with the SmackDown Live crowd. He was starting to attack people, most notably Jay Lethal. And, well, now, of course, it seems as if he's come down to NXT, and that's kind of been reverted away. It seems as if Cesaro's gone back to being in the good books of people. They welcome him here in the Hammerstein Ballroom, and they want to see him succeed just as much as I do. Oh, what a spinning European uppercut that one was. And I wonder when SmackDown Live look at their roster and they realize that a lot of big talents went in the draft, do they regret letting Cesaro go to NXT? Would they rather have kept him there? That's a question to ask. Spinning European uppercut by Cesaro. It looks as if this man hasn't lost a beat. As pristine as ever against someone even of the caliber of Big Cass. Cesaro has been making this look like ease. He's been making Big Cass look like a cruiserweight. To make it that much worse for the 7-footer, a trio of deadlift, gut-wrench suplexes. But look at that by Big Cass. Fights his way back into it. Big shoulder tackle sends Cesaro down. He hopes it's enough for victory, but Cesaro shows it's absolutely not. Big Cass, though, picks up Cesaro. Off the ropes we go here. Might have been thinking a big boot or something. I'm not too sure. Off the ropes he goes again. Cesaro with a counter there. Hard forearm in the face. And the Swiss Superman's going to take himself up high. Double axe handle. Could have panned out not the way he wanted it to, but he got all of that one. And the strike's now starting to come into play here. Big Cass in huge trouble, as anyone would be when they're in that ring with Cesaro. Look at the strength of this man. Snake eyes to Big Cass. Oh, but he took too long there. Cesaro, I think, got a little bit fatigued after that. He was trying to show off his strength one too many times, and Big Cass makes him pay for it there. And that kind of falls on Cesaro for getting a little bit overzealous. That may be what cost him on a number of occasions in in SmackDown Live. He has all the strength to him, but he gets a little bit overconfident in showing it. And that may be one of those instances. Oh, Cesaro and the taped up shoulder that he has there being sent into that ring pole. The fight back here from Big Cass, I gotta say, has been impressive. Is he thinking Empire Elbow right now? Yes, he is. Cass stands in position, mockingly does the SAWFT that he used to share with his old partner Enzo Amore. Empire Elbow struck. Big Cass hopes it's enough for victory. Will it be? No, Cesaro with a convincing kick at it too. That means there's only one thing left for Big Cass to try and do here to look for victory, but Cesaro's willing himself up to his feet here. Rolls out of the way, a Big Cass comes in there with that flying uppercut. Great strength by Cesaro, and there it is! That pop-up uppercut into the chest. If it was into the jaw, it would have been Swiss death, and this would have been decisively over. But it was not. Here goes Cesaro now. Locking in the big legs of Cass into the sharpshooter. Looking to close this one out. Is Big Cass going to submit here on Cesaro's NXT debut? Is this one going to be over for the big man? Yes, it is. Big Cass, no choice but to tap out. Couldn't reach the ropes despite his large frame. And in his NXT debut, Cesaro is the winner. Cesaro can be happy with that one. Make no mistake about it. Welcome to NXT, Cesaro. Let's see how things stick around for him. I wonder what the future brings for this man. I wonder where he goes from now on. Be interesting to see what it entails. Anyway, Cesaro there looks to try and just return to his old form and just try and get out of NXT, I imagine, as quickly as he possibly can, with the likes of Dean Ambrose in that regard. We're going to move on to our next contest. Two men who are certainly looking to be staples of NXT and show why they can even go as far as being the future of this universe are in action up next. It's a big match for Lio Rush. He's going one-on-one with the new NXT Global Champion, Pete Dunne. I'm ready. This one's going to, like I said, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be an incredible match between two really talented athletes. Lio Rush, of course, who bounced back from injury 2 weeks ago? No, last week. My apologies. And already going into the deep end in this match here tonight against Pete Dunne. To be fair, though, I think Lio Rush has the capabilities. He has the talent within him to easily pull off something like that. And I don't disagree with the belief that is that you know goes the that should be something that Lio Rush should have. He should absolutely have this match here tonight with Pete Dunne. While Dunne may have to keep his eyes on No Way Jose, surprisingly, there are certainly others who he should keep his eye on. Lio Rush is one of them, but you know Rush has other things in mind. Upon his return from injury last week and his subsequent victory over Shelton Benjamin, he said following the matchup that once he has resolved this whole situation, he will be at peace, and then he can hunt down titles. If you don't know what he's referring to, he is on about the injury that took him out of action for some time, courtesy of a masked assailant. We don't know the guy who did it, but Pete Dunne, sorry, not Pete Dunne, but Lio Rush was taken out by that man and was forced away from what potentially could have been a shot at the NXT Global Championship. But instead, he had to watch at the sidelines as Pete Dunne made that title his. I'm not saying that means Pete Dunne is the perpetrator behind it, but what I am saying is that it's a bit of a shame because we could have had Rush in that position. But that just didn't happen. But now he's back with his vengeance on his mind, and he wants to get revenge, sort this out, and then start going after titles like the one that Pete Dunne holds in his hand right now. Dunne, of course, won the belt at NXT TakeOver Orlando. Defeated Kurt Angle and Big Show to become the global champion. It was a great night for Dunne in that regard. He had his celebration 2 weeks ago about it, and now he has his first match as champion here tonight. Let's see how this one pans out for him. We're underway here between two, as I said, very competitive athletes, very talented athletes. Both men will do anything for victory, and Pete Dunne early on there Trying to get under the skin of Lio Rush. Cheap shot there, and now attacking right after the referee pushes them away. Look at the strength of Lio Rush, though. Great strength there by the youngster. Rotating. Oh my goodness gracious me, never mind. There's some power of his own being returned by Pete Dunne. Didn't even get to finish my point beforehand. Great strength, great agility there though by Rush. These two men countering each other, but that hard forearm just kind of slowed down the pace a little bit there. Pete Dunne looking for a sit-out powerbomb, decides against it for a second. Oh, it took too long there. Allowed Rush a window to get back into this one. Powered his way out. Lio Rush now, not afraid to fully take advantage of this opportunity. Off the, what's he thinking here? Runs off the ropes. Oh! Hurricanrana face buster there to the global champion, who looked in trouble for a moment but counted his way out of that suplex into a roll-up. Almost put away Rush, who counters back though, and Dunne wants to kick out early there. Dunne was feeling awfully confident about that until Rush countered it back. Oh, what a move by Pete Dunne there. Suplex powerbomb of all moves by the Bruiserweight. And a step up Enziguri in the corner now, the global champion. Looks like he wants to be in control of this situation, but Lio Rush denying him. The back and forth between these two men, absolutely outstanding. Neither can keep the other down, no matter how much they want to. The foot being dug into the throat now, though, of Lio Rush there, as Pete Dunne looks to take an elongated period of control within this matchup and show why he's the global champion. Lio Rush, though, after returning from injury, is looking absolutely fantastic right now. Looked great last week. Looks even better here tonight. Oh, looking for some kind of slam there, but denied by the global champion. Would it be an upset if Rush defeated Pete Dunne, given his performance so far in this matchup tonight? I don't think so, in that regard. Perches Rush up on the top rope there, and oh, just very disrespectful there with his strikes. But let's be honest, Pete Dunne is hardly someone who cares about allies. He turns his back on Rush there as he recovers. Brings him in now. Rope hung DDT to Lio Rush. Oh, but he gets out of the way of it right away there. Lio Rush now with a reverse Rana. This thing is really amping up between these two men. I am very much invested in this matchup so far. Great splash there by Rush, but can he follow up with anything big here? Oh, maybe he can. Up on the shoulders here. Moves a little bit away. Oh, F5! Okay. Didn't expect to see that from Lio Rush, but I know what I am about to see from him. Rush, no, went for Rush Hour, but was denied by Pete Dunne, who hits him with a hard forearm in the face. Lio Rush now, caught, bitter end. 1, 2, Lio Rush kicks out at 2. And the NXT Global Champion can hardly believe it. He thought that one was over. Thought he had it there. But Lio Rush keeps going right now. Lio Rush spearing himself on, yeah. Wants to get back up to his feet, and here he goes. The flying forearms in the face. Pele kick to the global champion. The speed being possessed by Lio Rush right now. Pete Dunne can't even catch up with it. And that is what is causing concern for the global champion. Looking for the pedigree. And he gets it on Pete Dunne. This could be all she wrote. Lio Rush maybe not ready to close things out just yet. Is he going to take it? I thought he might be taking it up to the top rope there. Rush decides not to. Goes for the cover, and it's an early kick out, surprisingly, by Pete Dunne. Oh, Rush will go up to the top rope, though. Is he going to look for that frog splash of his? Yes, he is. Look at the elevation he got with that frog splash into the cover. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's the man, the master assailant who put Lio Rush on the shelf for months on end. He's staring down. He was staring down Lio Rush, and Pete Dunne has just jumped on the opportunity, covering Rush. Pete Dunne takes full advantage, pins Lio Rush, but it's that man on the outside that just cost Lio Rush the victory. That master assailant just screwed over Lio Rush. And as quickly as he was here, he has legged it. Lio Rush can't believe it either. Pete Dunne is your winner. Owes everything to that masked man. But who the hell is he? And more importantly, where the hell did he just go? I don't know what to make of that. That has genuinely taken me aback a long ways. Lio Rush was that close to defeating Pete Dunne, that close to securing a victory over the NXT Global Champion. And the man who attacked him, the man who wrote him out with an injury, came back again. That man reared his head around here again and brought about a very unfortunate, very sad in some ways defeat for Lio Rush. And it's not even one of those cases where you can say, well, Rush shouldn't have been distracted by him, because this is a man who tried to end Lio Rush's career, essentially. This is a man who tried to put him away. And he just sabotaged Rush's chance of victory here tonight. And in some ways reminded him he's still here. That hurts. That sucks as well. That sucks for Lio Rush. So it is a huge shame, and it sucks that these things happen. Nevertheless, we'll move on from that, and we'll focus on this match at hand. Tag team action. The duo of EC3 and Ty Dillinger, who of course we saw kind of work together as a team 2 weeks ago, I think it was, who were victorious over the duo of Noam Dar and Bret Hart, but have certainly gone further in showing their abilities as a tag team. I want to continue that here tonight. Still not a name yet. They're probably still working on that one. You know, you got the 1% in EC3. You got the perfect 10 in Ty Dillinger. I imagine they're trying to work out maybe something to do with the numbers. I mean, all depends on what they're going with for that one. But as for now, they still seem to be looking pretty good as a team. They looked pretty good 2 weeks ago. Oh, well, okay, that's new. Will they look pretty good here tonight against the team of Darren Young and Heath Slater, NXT's resident losers? There's no nice way of saying that. Dillinger certainly has found life to himself, really, with EC3 by his side. Same could be said about EC3, maybe. Certainly, maybe, you know, more life than before. Bell rings and we're underway in this one, and immediately Ty Dillinger just ran in there and absolutely flattened Heath Slater. Let's see how this one goes between these two sides as Slater starts this one off against Ty Dillinger. Maybe not. Great speed there by Dillinger early on. Russian leg sweep there. Rolls backwards, or rather transitions backwards, I guess, into a backwards roll, and makes the tag into EC3 now. Look how EC3 decides to get things underway for himself. Triple Germans from the off. The strength of EC3 there. Absolutely decimating Heath Slater in the early goings. Throws him into the turnbuckle of Darren Young and is essentially saying, come on, get in the ring. Darren Young will make the tag here. Oh, but he might be wishing that he didn't, because in the corner, both men are here. EC3 sends Darren Young into Heath Slater. It's like he knew what he wanted to do there. Evil yet genius at the same time by EC3. A ring IQ that is unmatched in many perspectives. Certainly a ring IQ that doesn't have as... I can't find a ring IQ that has much of an ego to it as EC3 has. Darren Young in a little bit of trouble there in the early goings. Fighting out, though. Trying to stick it to EC3. Imagine the victory that this would mean for Darren Young and Heath Slater here. Of course, the NXT Tag Team division took quite the strike following the departure of Heavy Machinery, DCC. Kind of pretty much means that following TakeOver, the only teams left in the division was Sanity and American Alpha. I mean, they can't exactly have another match, given the fact that they've been taking up the NXT Tag Team division for some months. So it's good to see teams like Dillinger and EC3 coming through the cracks and working together. It's certainly something that the NXT Tag Team division needs in order to thrive and in order to stay, I guess, the term would be relevant with the other divisions that we see. The NXT Women's Division is thriving. The Global Championship is perhaps the strongest it has ever been, and maybe the most entertaining title to watch on NXT. And of course we have the NXT Championship. I know it is held down with an iron fist by Coren, but that may not be the case after next week. You never know. Nevertheless, we're going to focus on this matchup still at hand. EC3, they try to save his tag team partner. Heath Slater did get the tag in. Darren Young recovering on the outside. And Heath Slater's come in with a real bit of purpose to him here. I was hoping for something there, but Ty Dillinger was having absolutely none of it. And that Russian leg sweep will come the way of Heath Slater again. Heath Slater sent into that turnbuckle now. Are we going to see a tag made here? Yes, we are. Legal man in this one is EC3. Double. Oh, that was very well done there by those two men. Double arm drag there, or double hip toss. Made it look very, very easy to Heath Slater. Oh, backstabber by EC3. Drilled him with it. I do believe that EC3 is the most talented man in this matchup. And we are certainly seeing why that is the case. Oh, the running knee. Knee trembler there by EC3. And you know what this is going to lead into? EC3 lies in wait, looking for that chance to strike. 1% from EC3. Stick a fork in it. This one's over. Darren Young hopes to make the save. He's on his way. This match is done. EC3 and Ty Dillinger with another victory under their belt. And this duo is getting stronger and stronger all of a sudden, with these victories that they are getting time and time again. That one was very impressive. That one was a lot more decisive than the one they had 2 weeks ago. Slater and Young barely got in any offense between the pair of them. EC3 quashed any hopes of those two being victorious. I mean, to be fair, they didn't look like they were going to be victorious in the first place. But that was a much harder blow to take than a hard-fought loss. It was just seemingly a decisive defeat. Although I feel as if in some ways with this team, Ty Dillinger got to pull his own weight. But that might just be my side of the things. Anyway, before we move on to our next contest, we are going to have another promo here tonight. We're going to be hearing from the woman who suffered defeat in the NXT Women's Championship match of a TakeOver, the leader of Trifecta, Tessa Blanchard. What does she have to say following that loss at TakeOver, following Trifecta's inability to gain the NXT Women's Championship? And what does she have to say to the NXT Women's Champion herself, Kairi Sane? We'll probably find that out up next. And so here she comes, much in the same breath as I said about the likes of Pete Dunne, the first time we've seen her since NXT TakeOver as well. What must be going through Tessa Blanchard's mind, knowing that she was that close to being the NXT Women's Champion, but couldn't do it? All this talk about how Trifecta is going to take over, and all this talk about how they're unstoppable, yet in the ring when it mattered against Kairi Sane, Tessa Blanchard couldn't make it happen. She could not become the NXT Women's Champion. What does that think? How does that factor into the mind of Tessa Blanchard here tonight? Well, it certainly seems as if she is quick to dismay it. She believes it was a fluke that Kairi Sane defeated her in NXT TakeOver. She believes that Sane got lucky on the night, but on any other night, the result would have been completely different, and she would have the title around her waist. Tessa Blanchard believes that that is true. However, this does not mean that things are finished between Kairi, Sane and Trifecta. So believes Tessa Blanchard, at least. She believes that there are still many more pieces to the puzzle that Kairi, Sane are yet to try and demolish. And perhaps the biggest piece of to the entire puzzle is the brute of Trifecta, Jazzy Gabert. And in closing already, Tessa Blanchard wants Kairi, Sane to know that Trifecta is not done with her. They are going to get their hands on her. They are going to get that title away from her. Blanchard, Gabert, Garrett, it doesn't matter. Trifecta is taking that belt and taking the NXT Women's Division. And she doesn't care who gets in the way. Charlotte, Toni Storm, send them up. Trifecta will knock them down. Big words from someone who was defeated at TakeOver. Certainly seems as if Tessa Blanchard has used that to her advantage, because she has one hell of an ego. And I imagine so too does the rest of Trifecta. Interesting that the match in hand that Tessa Blanchard was right in front of to deliver a message was one that involved a woman who she brought up. In that promo, as she closed it out, she said if Charlotte or Toni Storm want to get involved, then they will fall with Kairi, Sane. Well, that's very interesting, given that Charlotte is in action in this matchup. Funny how things turn around, isn't it? Charlotte, I imagine, was listening into that one and was taking notes of what taking note of what Tessa Blanchard had to say on behalf of Trifecta and herself, of course, and I imagine she will not be best pleased with it, and it actually wouldn't surprise me if Charlotte got involved with this all. I mean, you know, she's already come to the aid of Toni Storm, and Toni Storm, I wouldn't be surprised if she wanted to come to the aid of Kairi, Sane either. Trifecta has a 3-on-1 advantage right now to Kairi, Sane. You kind of get that feeling about this 3-on-1 advantage that it's just a matter of time before it happens. It's a matter of time before the numbers game get too much and Sane falls. And I don't want that happening. I do not want to see Trifecta with their hands on the NXT Women's Championship. I don't think they are the virtue bringers of the NXT Women's Division. I don't think they are deserving of that face of the NXT Women's Division. A woman like Charlotte, a woman like Toni Storm, and certainly the woman that is Kairi, Sane, that is champion, are deserving of that right. So maybe it would be helpful if they all banded together to help one another out. But that will, we'll come to see if that'll happen. I hope it will, but nevertheless, time will tell. Here is Charlotte anyway, getting ready for a singles debut in NXT. As I said, she came to the aid of Toni Storm last week to take on the iconic duo, and was successful as well, making Peyton Royce, I want to say, tap out to the figure 8. Might have been Billie Kay. Either way, it was Charlotte who got the tap out win, and is looking to continue on with that momentum here tonight. She got rid of the iconic duo in her NXT debut. She kind of cut them astray from ever having to worry about them again, and now can turn her focus onto the veteran of the NXT Women's Division in Mickie James. I wonder how this one will go for Charlotte. I'm looking forward to it, though, I gotta say. Bell rings were underway here. Mickie James, she has the experience, as I said, over Charlotte, but Charlotte certainly has shown herself to be an absolutely lethal competitor, and I think last week certainly showed that as well. But Mickie James going to come out here swinging. She knows what is at stake here. She knows that a victory gets her back into the hot pages, gets her back into the eyes of those towards the top of the NXT Women's Division. And she has got to try and prove that here against Charlotte. But one little misfire there, as we just saw, and it can all kind of fall apart in one foul swoop. Now Mickie James in trouble as her head gets planted into that turnbuckle again and again, and didn't have any fight back for that. Charlotte's own power was enough there to keep her down. Charlotte just walking around there, goes to the second rope now, and oh, big splash. Connects to take care of Mickie James. The referee falls down, but he was stupid. He didn't get out of the way, so he kind of deserved it. Irish whip here off the ropes. Charlotte took a little too long, though. Collision between the two, but Mickie James is quick to fight back there. This is very nice back and forth action between the two. Great strength there by Charlotte. Didn't look like she had the hair gripped either, which I think just makes that feat of strength a little bit more impressive. Mickie James does a quick lap there to get around Charlotte, forearm in the face there, and an elbow drop that almost kind of just grazed Charlotte more than anything. Calling her up to her feet now is Mickie James. That is a very long way to fly. Mickie James has to be aware of that, and oh my goodness, what strength from Charlotte to catch her in midair and snake eyes across the ropes there. That was unparalleled strength in many regards. I mean, the only woman who I could see actually pulling that one off as cleanly as Charlotte did would be Jazzy Gabert in the NXT Women's Division, at least. That was incredible. James is now heavily on the back foot, flying forearm into the turnbuckle. And uh-oh, Charlotte's going to the top rope. You kind of know what that entails. Charlotte, moonsault. A little bit late on the cover though, but hopes it's enough for victory. Wow, Mickie James powers out early there. She wants to keep this one alive for her. But she ain't moving. She ain't responsive, and she couldn't defend herself to the wrath of Charlotte. Legs are locked. Charlotte will now transition into the figure eight. And this is where Mickie James has nowhere to turn to, nowhere near the ropes. I would say this one right now is over. Can she hang in there? She's trying. Mickie James, though, just couldn't. She taps out to Charlotte. The figure eight with another submission victory to Charlotte. That figure eight leg lock is as decisive as you'd like. Once you get locked in it, it seems as if it's incredibly tough or near impossible to get out of it. 2 tap outs in 2 weeks for Charlotte. Safe to say she's only been here a short amount of time, and she is quite happily making NXT her home. She is quite happily making her claim in NXT. And with another win, you know, Trifecta have their eyes on what has gone on here. They brought her up, so they must certainly know what this woman is capable of. We'll see, though, what will happen. We'll see if Charlotte gets herself involved or not, because right now, she's making waves in NXT. And Trifecta, I don't imagine are a big fan of that. Anyway, it's time for our main event. He is 1 week away from defending his NXT Championship for potentially the final time against the toughest opponent he's had since winning that title. Coren is in action up next against Tyler Bate. Let's see what happens in this main event. Let's see if Tyler Bate can put a smile on all our faces and pull off an absolute shock, an absolute worldie, and defeat Coren here tonight, 1 week before his NXT title defense against Hiroshi Tanahashi. I would love to see that. It would put an absolute smile on my face if that happened. Bate is in good spirits up. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Please. Please, Bate. No, Bate. Don't keep on doing that. Turn around. Oh. Of course. Of course. Bate, though, is going to fight back right away. Yes, this is what I want to see. Tyler Bate forcing the NXT champion into a corner. That's usually perfect for Coren, that attack is. That usually goes off without a hitch. But right now against Bate, it has been a conclusive error made by the NXT champion into the barricade, though. He is sending Tyler Bate and into the ring after it. Coren is ready to compete here against Bate now. The bell has rung. We're underway. And Tyler Bate was not prepared for this from behind, but in a way you almost expected it to happen. Coren and Bate now has begun. What is going to happen? Oh, pile driver by Coren there. The NXT champion is... He is something else right now. I genuinely think, I've said this over the last few weeks, Tanahashi has the better of Coren, and I think Coren in some ways is scared of Tanahashi. I genuinely believe that to be true, and it's changing the way he acts. He's much more conclusive in wanting to get matches done. It seems as if right now he's almost looking over, trying to keep an eye on Tanahashi, wondering if he's going to be there or not. You saw it last week. Just came out of nowhere, attacked Tanahashi. Okay, He's done that on a number of occasions before. But usually after he's attacked someone, he loves running his mouth. He loves people to hear his voice. All he said last week was, Tanahashi, 2 weeks from now, the rematch is on. The fact that that is all he said kind of speaks volumes about what this means to Coren. The ego is gone from this man. The confidence is, the confidence is always going to be there. This is Coren after all. But the ego is gone. He is genuinely petrified, I think, of losing that title. And this is the most real chance he has had of losing it. That's all I'm saying. I think this is the biggest chance. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it right now. Next week, we're going to have a new NXT champion. I think it's going to happen. I think Coren has put himself in too deep of a hole to overcome this. I think Coren's gone to the well one too many times, and Tanahashi has read it. Tanahashi knows what to expect from this man and how to counter everything. I said it at TakeOver. Coren only beat Tanahashi because of his skill. He only beat him because of his heart as well. I don't want to say heart because he certainly doesn't have one, but the drive that he has within him. He didn't beat Tanahashi because he's the better wrestler. No way did he beat Tanahashi because he is better than Tanahashi. He just got very lucky, but also has a lot of skill to him that led to that victory as well. Anyone else in that ring with Tanahashi on that night, I think they would have lost. Make no mistake about it. And I said it as well time and time again. You did it once, now do it again. Can he do it again is the big question. I don't know. We will find out. But I've talked over this match a little bit too much. This one going on between these two right now. You kind of see the desperation in Coren with everything he hits. He has been overcoming Bate though in a lot of regards. He has been very much so in control of this one. Whenever Bate is able to bring out, look at the strength of Tyler Bate. Gorilla press. Oh, uppercut. Oh, that was amazing. He drilled the NXT champion with that one. Is this going to be a potential way for Bate to get in this? I said I would love it if it happened. Imagine the scenes if Tyler Bate beat Coren. Puts him up on his shoulders, yeah. The champ ain't moving. Drilled into that turnbuckle. Oh, there's a chance. There's a chance. Tyler Bate's in the turnbuckle. He's looked for this before but couldn't connect with it. Will he get it this time? Bate. Oh, yes, he will. Running enziguri. Absolutely clocked Coren. Come on, Bate. Get on him. Get on him. Bate needs to try and finish this now. Coren counters. No. Turns him round. Clock strikes 12. He laid in wait. Ah. He laid in wait for it to happen. And he goes into the cover now, but Tyler Bate was in the ropes. That may have just been one of the biggest mistakes Coren could have made. He goes into another cover, and Bate is able to kick out because of Coren's mistake. You saw it there within him. The desperation to win this match. Coren is a guy who is more than happy when he's frustrated to hit 3, even 4 clock strikes 12s. He hit 1 and he wanted it to be over. Tanahashi has messed with this man's mind in such a good way that I am in the camp that Tanahashi can do it for that reason. Bate was very close there to hitting a big move and to potentially closing out with a huge victory. Oh my God, he just used the apron to his advantage there. Into that powerbomb on Bate. Into the cover after it, and Bate is still kicking out. Coren is trying everything to win this matchup now. He just wants to win. He wants to win badly. Bate up against the ropes. Irish whip there by the champ. Went for a bicycle kick and missed it. And Bate sees a chance. Bate! Tyler Driver! He just hit that on the NXT champion decisively. Will this do it for Bate? Come on. Come on. 1, 2, and oh my God. He was so close So close. Coren kicked out and now he's fighting on here. But Bate is making it tough for him. Big knee in the face, so connects to Tyler Bate. And oh, a lariat to the back of the head. Desperation sinks in as he goes for another cover on Tyler Bate there. He wants anything to be enough. Everything Tanahashi witnesses here is making him feel more confident about next week. Because Coren is desperate to win here tonight. He moves behind Bate. He was thinking clock strikes 12s. He couldn't even find it within him to connect with it. He counters again though. Turns him round. Clock strikes 12. And in the exact fashion that he won at NXT TakeOver, he could win here tonight. Bate is busted open. Does Tyler Bate have anything left in him to fight on? Coren hooks the leg. 1, 2. Oh my god, Bate kicks out. And Coren can hardly believe it. You know Coren has to win this one. He won't let himself get DQ'd. He won't let himself win by countout. He has to win this one by his own able body. And Tyler Bate now is about to feel the reciprocations of that. The NXT champion now is... Oh, he's going down that deep, dark path. The path that almost ruled Okada out indefinitely. The path that forced the likes of the Macho Man Randy Savage and Stone Cold Steve Austin to retire. Coren, suplex, just dumped him, let him fall there. No care for his opponent, but Bate, he won't give in. He will not give in. And that angers Coren more than anything. And Bate is still fighting back. The blood is pouring down this man's face, but he still fights on. Snap German suplex. He runs into the cover. Is this enough, though, to win? No, Coren kicks out at 2. And the desperation in Bate's face is coming through. But could this be victory for Bate? Oh, he was looking for the Tyler driver and he was denied it. Coren went for the bicycle kick. He got denied it. Shoves Bate around though. Clock strikes 12. Bate fought with heart and tenacity. Bate tested the NXT champion, but I think this is enough. I think this is it. He hooks the leg of Tyler Bate. 1, 2. What is this man made of? I genuinely don't know what Tyler Bate is thinking. Coren's getting desperate though. He goes for another cover and Bate kicks out again. And once more the champion goes in for the cover. Desperate to close this. Bate keeps on kicking out. And Bate willing himself up to his feet here. Spinning kick in the gut. Bate still fighting. So too though is Coren. Look at those strikes there by the champion. You look at the way Coren's acting and it's the actions of a man that just wants to win. It's not even about closing out this match now. It's about victory for Coren. He knows the longer this goes on, the more trouble he's in for next week with Tanahashi. But Tyler Bate knows that, and it's almost like Bate is doing this on behalf of NXT and Tanahashi. Oh my god, Tyler Bate just got thrown into the barricade there. This is worrying for Bate. Oh, back suplexed onto the steel barricade. Oh no, 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 not this. Double underhook brainbuster on the outside by the champion. He knows no limits. He has no morals within him. This is what happens when something's taken a step too far. Count is up to 7 here. Coren senses blood in the water. Coren senses ending this. No! Clock strikes 12 on the outside. I said Coren wasn't the kind of guy to win by countout. I guess I was wrong. This is what Tanahashi has done to him. Coren, though, this desperate for victory, it speaks volumes in its own way. Coren defeats Tyler Bate by countout here. I hope Bate is alright, but more to the point, How much has Coren been affected by Tanahashi? Coren celebrates and basks in his victory here tonight. Running down though. Running down is Tanahashi. The ace is here. What are these two men going to do? And look at these two men now. Opponents next week. Face to face tonight. Tanahashi stares down Coren. And oh, Coren flinched. Tanahashi knows where he stands with Coren. He goes to swing, and Coren, the seemingly fearless guy that he is, the man who prides himself on being afraid of nothing, just flinched to Tanahashi. Next week, I am calling it. It's a new NXT champion.